Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in to this Monday, February 5th edition of the Establish the Run NBA DFS Injury Analysis Show. I am your host, Gary Hartman. For the first time of a 2-week or so coming period of no Drew Dinkmeyer, both here and behind the paywall, because we are sending off our boy to get married. We are very, very excited for Drew, but he will be off for the next couple weeks. So you have a various cast of characters with Mike on this show and behind the paywall on the DFS show at 5 o'clock. We just kind of wanted to set the table. Of course, I am joined by the injury analysis, the rotation analysis goat himself, Mike Gallagher. Mike, how you doing?
Doing good, yeah. Happy for Dink. Going to be a lot of you and me, a lot of Dink. I did a podcast with Sam earlier today, talking trade deadline. That should be out pretty soon on the pod feed. But yeah, a lot of Q tags today. Should be a lot to talk about. And as the chat's mentioning, we had a really nice weekend in the prop streets, going 12-3, I think. So love to see it.
Yeah.
A lot of nice to make some money for the subs here.
Prop streets and DFS streets. We had a sub win the 100K last night on ETR. I don't know if it was UTP. I know someone had tagged me. I've been meaning to catch up on Discord notifications, but yeah, we were on top of minutes and stuff all day yesterday afternoon with the Memphis news and everything, and just great. All I'll say is some other sites in the industry do not put as much work in on Saturdays and especially Sundays as we try to do all 7 days, at least on the projections front. Obviously, we don't have articles on the back end, but yeah, feel really good about the weekend. Feel really good about everything moving forward. A little bit of the dog days of the season, but trade deadline this week, All-Star coming up. We're exciting times here. Today, we have a 6-game slate. A good amount of injury news, normal amount for February, I would say, on the 6-game slate. A handful of teams either on the front end or back end of a back-to-back, but also a couple island games. So let's dive right in here. Let's start in the, I was just going off the injury report order. So let's start in Dallas. Dallas, Philadelphia, plenty of injuries here. On the Dallas side, they're on the front end of a back-to-back. So tonight they got Philadelphia. Tomorrow night, I believe they have Brooklyn in Brooklyn. So they're kind of doing the East Coast thing right now. They got Philly, then Brooklyn, then New York this week. But today, Luka, Kyrie, Maxi Kleber, all listed available. Mm-hmm. There's no Derek Lively. There's no Dante Exum. Take it away. Do you expect these guys to play both nights, play one day, sit tomorrow? What are you thinking for Dallas here?
Yeah, definitely a chance they sit some people out tomorrow. Certainly Maxi Kleber dealing with the toe thing, but we saw him play a ton of minutes for the matchup. Giannis just absolutely pummeled them. I fired at some Giannis props just knowing they were going to get killed at the basket. But yeah, let's kind of go through. So I think Maxi's going to play pretty full today. Expecting him to start at center. Then we have Kyrie Irving. He's been doing on-court stuff for a little bit. Went through 2 full practices. So he could play like a lot of minutes here. So expect him to be not limited at all. Curious to see where his lines come out because I think he could be pretty busy against the defense. I think he could cook a little bit there. And then obviously Luka sprained his ankle, went to the locker room, and still plays 42 minutes. Poor Dink fired at some live Luka stuff because they left him up there too long. And yeah, not great. Luka. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty straightforward here. Expect Luka to play full. We saw, man, the guy has Q tags, and the coach calls him injured, and he drops 70 balls. It just doesn't matter. They're just going to play him so much. And then, Derek Jones Jr. should be out there. So expecting a starting lineup of Luka, Kyrie, Josh Green, Derek Jones Jr., and Maxi Kleber at the 5 spot.
Cool. Yeah. I was thinking they got everybody back tonight. If they were going to sit Kyrie one of these nights, who's better to sit him against at this point? I guess it's better to sit against this Philly team and we could go over there or play. Sit him against the Brooklyn team and play him against this Philly team because Philly, I guess let's have the Joel Embiid conversation before we talk about the rest of their injury report. Reported over the weekend that it was a dislocated flap in his meniscus. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah. And I guess we don't really know full timetable, but expected to miss at least it sounds like a good chunk, if not the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, you could probably. I was talking this with Sam. We were having some delicious Pizzeria Bianco. He's dead for basketball. And then Paul Reed is alive. Let me hit him really quick. Wasn't listed in the game over the weekend. And after the game, you see only 15 minutes. He was sick. Not an injury report. Thanks, Philly. Tobias Harris has another illness. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead on the Embiid stuff. We'll come back to that. Tobias, game time. We'll see. Obviously, Maxi's going to play a bunch. Kelly Oubre, we saw him. We had an under on him, and he just missed everything, luckily for us. But Nick Nurse said that when Tobias is out, he's clearly their second best option. So could be pretty huge usage against a defense that I think is going to be really, really bad. I mentioned what Giannis did to them over the weekend. And then, I think everything else is pretty straightforward. Expecting Daniel House to get the start here to probably guard Luka there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sad news on Embiid. Just, obviously having one of the best individual seasons that you could remember. And even if he was going to take himself out of the MVP running with just normal amount of missed games, hate to see a serious injury that's going to derail, one of the East contenders this year. Do you know anything about this injury specifically? Do you think back for the playoffs, or do we just don't know much right now?
Yeah, I'd expect them to probably miss the regular season, and then maybe playoffs. Yeah. They're certainly going to take their time. Then you got to have the conversation of how far can they fall here? They got killed over the weekend. They could definitely slide play in here. Going to need a lot of Maxey.
They could definitely slide. They could definitely slide to the play in. I mean, if Maxey and Tobias are healthy enough and they get Batum and everyone healthy, I still see them being a competitive team, just the way they're coached with Nurse. But man, the Pacers are right on their rear, and I don't see them getting back up above the Knicks, Cavs, and Bucks without Embiid. So tough spot there. Pacers have Magic, and the Heat still lingering too. So, yeah, sad stuff. All right, let's go to the Lakers Hornets game. The Lakers are in an island game after coming out to Madison Square Garden and beating them on Saturday night. Anthony Davis and LeBron both played in that game, played big minutes. They are both questionable here again. My question to you always with these LeBron and ADQ tags, how real are they?
Yeah, they are not real. But again, going back to the comments from Darvin Ham about a couple weeks ago, he's like, they're going to try to find LeBron rest spots. This Hornets team is terrible. Could certainly see him sitting out, even though it is not a back-to-back set. But as you mentioned, if they do play, they are getting big minutes. Really huge win for them. Should note, as we saw, they are going to run with the starting lineup. Darvin Ham said this is the plan going forward, that they will continue to start Rui Hachimura. They like Taurean Prince off the bench for defense and adding some creation. We saw Prince have a pretty good amount of shot volume, and that was nice to see. As someone who bet stale stuff when he got benched, I did not enjoy that. But so expecting the starting lineup to be the same. The axe is out for Christian Wood, Darvin Ham. No coasters at his house. He does not respect Wood. Did you watch Curb last night?
Not yet. I'm going to watch it probably right after our show tonight or after lock tonight. Yeah, I'm very excited to watch it tonight.
It's very, almost anything, but it's good. It's good.
I know I was upset. Unfortunately, I didn't get to it last night, but I'm very excited to get to it. You mentioned Rui Vanderbilt out for a while here. No Reddish, no Gabe still. I watched every minute of the game on Saturday night. Was at a Knicks watch party. Actually, it was a lot of fun, but the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter was not fun. You mentioned Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince killed the Knicks. I mean, killed them. He was playing great. 33 minutes. So do you expect it to be matchup dependent? Who would get the edge between Rui and Prince in minutes? Or you think Rui's just going to get the start and Prince will be the closer for sure?
Yeah, they're going to start. Darvin Ham could change his mind, but I expect this to be going forward until someone gets hurt. That's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, no. I'm saying do you expect Prince still to get the edge in minutes every night though, or do you think it'll be like a
yeah. I think so. He's just so important. Rui's not an on-ball defender. They don't want to ask Reeves and those guys to pick up. So yeah, I think that Prince, despite being benched, should pick up starters-ish kind of minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they like this 5, but Prince is still the guy that has the edge there. Charlotte side, man, what a mess. I right before we went on, I was reading all these Charlotte trade rumors because now the Knicks apparently are interested in PJ Washington. There's Miles Bridges' name being thrown around. It seems like everyone except maybe LaMelo Ball is up for sale on Charlotte. They are also on the second night of a back-to-back. LaMelo was ruled out about an hour ago. Still no Gordon Hayward. Still no Mark Williams. And Cody Martin and Frank Ntilikina questionable here. Both guys sat last night. We did see the starting lineup you see in front of your screen. Ish Smith, Bryce McGowan's, Nick Richards, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller. Huge game out of Brandon Miller. What are you expecting to see out of Charlotte here tonight?
Yeah, I think that they might sit Cody. So we'll see. That's kind of up in the air. They may have to run this lineup out there. Again, could have just been a management thing for Cody. So yeah, tough to get a read on it. Again, this team is just terrible. And we talked about them on the podcast with Sam and I about, all those names you mentioned could be getting traded contract year for Miles Bridges. And there's obviously the off-court stuff. But yeah, this seems terrible. And then say. There's not too much to say. Should expect huge usage. 3-point spot. The Lakers get a lot of catch and shoot, so that's great for PJ Washington and Brandon Miller.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, right. And Miller's really showing that he has a ceiling too. We'll talk about him on the DFS show. Shot 25 times yesterday. Great call on you on the minutes too. We upped Leaky Black from like 15 to 18 minutes, like a little bit before lock, and he ended up with 19. So he seems to be more in favor of Clifford right now. But yeah, I mean, I think you could see something similar here if it's the same guys out tonight. Seems like book night is just buried here, even when they're thin in the backcourt. Okay, let's go to a fun game here. Sacramento, Cleveland. Sacramento side is pretty easy. Just Sasha Vezenkov still questionable here. Do you have any notes on the Kings?
Just that Malik Monk kind of coming back to life here. We saw he was like kind of almost dead, hanging with minutes in the teens, but he really cut into Kevin Huerter. I took an unofficial over on him. Did not hit for Kayvon. We know we love catch and shoot guys against the Bulls, but yeah, tough scene for him. But yeah, tough to parse through. I haven't looked at the minutes there yet. But yeah, we got to be a little bit worried about Red Velvet, a.k.a. Kayvon, a.k.a. Kevin Huerter now.
Yeah, man, it's been such a seesaw with that kind of like shooter, other guard, handler type of spot there between Monk and Huerter of late. It seems like Monk got the edge last game. We'll see how real that is. Cleveland side, Darius Garland, questionable as he's kind of still being ramped up here. And Jared Allen also questionable here. I had the injury report up. What was Jared Allen listed with, if you can remind me again? Ankle. So
ankle.
What are you expecting to see out of those two Cavs starters? You expect to see them available tonight? And if Garland is in, any word on his minute stuff right now, and anything else on the Cavs?
Pretty confident Jared Allen's going to go. We saw him listed with this last time. He hurt himself 2 games ago, played last time, crushed. The two front court guys absolutely dominated the Spurs. That's not unusual. So Garland, he's coming off the fractured jaw. He was running a 20 to 24 minutes limit there, which they were sticking to. But this looks like kind of a lingering thing, which is a little concerning.
Yeah.
This left knee is the same knee that he hurt at Vanderbilt that cut his college career short. Also hurt this knee in 2022. Minor though, so but that that was a serious knee injury he needed surgery on at Vanderbilt. So a little concerning. I think he's got a good chance to possibly sit. Expecting him to still be pretty limited. I doubt they cracked that 24 on him, given that Mobley came back earlier and he's still on the 2024. So I think Garland has his cap 2024 again. Maybe we get more Mobley. What a game. 3 for 3 from 3. Just the defense was awesome. This team is like really, really good. They're probably for your Knicks. That you want to finish in the 3 spot or 2, and they're by far your biggest obstacle from doing that.
Absolutely, completely agree. Or if probably at this point with Philly likely dropping, we might not be set up for a 4-5 with Cleveland Knicks. But yeah, I mean either way, Cavs are great, and I think one other point on the Garland front, they just had such a big sample of playing without him and Mobley, and they were still dominating. I know it was an easier schedule, but they're still like, for me, I wouldn't at all, with this record, be surprised if they're going to try to, like, these kind of like 50-50 nights, just take it easy. Like, we know they could compete without him, whether he's playing in limited or not playing at all. I think they have their eyes set towards, the end of the season in April and then the playoffs. So keep an eye there on Garland, but good news on Jared Allen, that sounds like, so we'll keep an eye there. Yeah, cool. That'll be a fun game.
Okoro would start. Okoro would start if he doesn't go, just to mention that.
Yeah, another random guy that came up in trade rumors this morning, but that doesn't really make much sense to me. Anyway, Warriors Nets in Brooklyn here. Golden State is island game, actually. So nothing of concern there from a back-to-back perspective for their injury reports. Still no Gary Payton, still no Chris Paul. Andrew Wiggins is listed doubtful with the ankle soreness, and Dario Saric is probable. Any Warriors notes here with likely no Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah, we saw Wiggins going to miss time here. Kerr kind of mentioned it was a foot thing. So, yeah, expecting him to miss probably multiple games. That didn't look very good. Seems quite obvious they would start Brandon Podziemski, who had a really strong game. This game was freaking amazing with the Hawks pulling it out. Really strong DeJounte overtime. But, all the Kuminga, all the Clay, all the Curry, all the Draymond, mentioned probably all the pods. We saw Lester Quinones get in the mix for kind of key minutes in this game. So he's, I think, kind of earned it. And then we'll see if they run some bigger stuff with Trace Jackson Davis, maybe more Looney. But yeah, maybe we see a tighter rotation here. Dario could get in the mix and probably take Trace Jackson Davis like off the table as a DFS play, but could see pretty condensed minutes against a somewhat suspect defense, especially on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Lester Quinones thing, very interesting. New York kid, Memphis. I remember watching him in college. But yeah, yeah. All right. So we'll see their net side of things. Lengthy injury report. Not only that, they are on the front end of a back-to-back. I mentioned they have Dallas tomorrow night. So a little bit of tough sledding here. I'll kind of run through their outs. So Dorian Finney-Smith out tonight with the ankle sprain. Ben Simmons out with the maintenance stuff still here tonight, and Day'Ron Sharpe out. They also have all their G League guys listed out. So that's, getting somewhat thin. Dennis Smith Jr. is listed probable with the foot. Take it away on Brooklyn. What do you expect to see out of them tonight?
Yeah, same starting lineup here. A lot of more minutes for Claxton. We saw his minutes kind of get cut down a little bit when Ben Simmons was out there. This was a little bit garbage time dependent. So yeah. So it should be pretty tighter. So this could be a spot to go to. The Warriors have been pretty good defensively with the lineup they've been running. Now you're taking Wiggins out and putting Pods in, so it's a little iffy. But the Kuminga Draymond stuff's been pretty good defensively. Obviously, Cam Thomas the headline. Easy 40 ball. Sixers are just terrible defensively, but yeah, could see pretty elevated minutes. Jacques Vaughn doesn't have too many guys to go to here. Lonnie's been awesome too. His minutes have come up. We saw 4 or 5 games ago the minutes limit came off, and he's been getting pretty heavy, and he could play well enough to kind of cut into Cam Johnson or Spencer Dinwiddie even Cam Thomas, which I doubt. I think Cam Thomas is a pretty long leash given how hot he was.
Yeah, it seems like there'll be some value in this game from a DFS perspective that we'll talk about at 5:00. But yeah, I'm curious if DraftKings has raised Kuminga's price. Lonnie Walker's been viable in these cheap spots. So yeah, we'll talk through this game in a couple hours. It'll be an interesting one. All right. We got 2 more games. Clippers, Atlanta. Clippers side, second end of a back-to-back. Ivica Zubac did return last night. Is questionable here on the back-to-back. Do you expect Zoo to go? And any other Clippers notes?
I do not. We have him in projections, but I expect him from this calf injury, missing about a month. Expect him to have usually when you have a minutes limit, that goes with not playing back to back. So I'm expecting him to sit this one out. That will put Mason Plumlee back in the starting lineup. A little bit more coffee. How small does this game go? We'll talk about that on the other side. I could see it being a really tiny game overall with some. We'll talk about the Hawks in a second, but I could see if Zuze that helps Westbrook kind of in a big way, could help Norm get up there too. I should mention too, I don't want to forget Paul George. He said he's going to play. We saw the minutes come up. We saw him, kind of stay under 30, but they upped him. Wouldn't be, my favorite game, who's the late scratch today? He would be the favorite to me. I think he's got a pretty decent chance of we're going to add him to the report and just pull him out.
Yep. I was going to bring up PG, not listed on the injury report. So you got to assume that everything is good there. But yeah, 33 minutes yesterday, something to keep an eye on. Atlanta Hawks, bunch of Q tags here. Let's start with Clint Capella. He's out. So obviously big stuff for Onyeka Okongwu, but Q tags. We do have DeAndre Hunter questionable with the knee management, and then Sadiq Bey with an ankle also questionable. They're G League guys, Seth Lundy, Vic Krejci, and Mohamed am I saying that right? Well, Kobe Buffkin and Mohamed Gay. Yeah, Gay. Gee. Mohamed Gee. Makes sense. All questionable with G League stuff. So we shall see here. But do you expect DeAndre Hunter and Sadiq Bey to go, and then any other Hawks notes in general?
I think Bey has a chance. He's super durable. He's one of the most durable players in the league. So he tried to get through the ankle and then couldn't kind of go. Missed the last game. So I think we have him in projections as well. I think Hunter's just going to get tagged because it was a really severe injury. He has a history with the injury. So expecting a pretty strong limit on him. I don't think it's going to be, they're going to quote, be smart with his minutes. So we saw him rest in the back-to-back on the front end. So yeah, I expect him to be in, but limited to 20 minutes again here. And then as you mentioned, no Capella means wheels up for Onyeka Okongwu. I could see just mega minutes. We've seen Quinn Snyder be Tibbs-like with pretty condensed, concentrated minutes. So he would be a really good play, especially if Zoo doesn't go. We've seen Plumlee give up some big lines. So and then the Clippers could also play really small, so that could even make it even a better spot for him. But then other than that, I think we'll see. But Sadiq, tough one to tell. I could definitely see him missing.
Yeah, again, I haven't looked at prices yet or anything. I'm expecting major Okongwu shock tonight. And to answer this question, yeah, we'll plug it at the end behind the paywall. But of course, every day, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, we are live behind the paywall on establishtheRun.com. Okay. Last game of the night, the lone 8 o'clock game. Very condensed schedule tonight for Eastern. Yeah. We have 3 7s, 2 7:30s, and 8 o'clock Eastern. That's it. So you can enjoy your night early. You can catch up on Curb like me. All right. Toronto side, back end of a back-to-back. RJ Barrett did play last night. Had a big game last night. Is listed out here on the second night of a back-to-back. Only other injury here that's besides G League is Jonte Porter, who's going to be out for a bit. So how do you expect the Raptors to go tonight without RJ here?
Yeah, it should be Bruce Brown season there. Little double overtime hook to ruin our perfect Sunday there. So that was a shame. But yeah, expecting Bruce Brown to start in the starting lineup. We saw Pirtle get pretty full, coming off his ankle, so he should be in there. So expecting a starting lineup of Emmanuel Quickley, Gary Trent Jr. Great spot for Gary Trent Jr. Shout out to Sam for flag planting him. The Pelicans give up the second most catch and shoot possessions per game, so it should be a pretty big Trent spot. Scotty Barnes, and then Pirtle should be out there. And then a little bit more Dennis Schroeder, Grady Dick should benefit a little bit. Certainly not fantasy viable though.
Man, seeing -13 for RJ in 43 minutes in overtime game is giving me flashbacks to Knicks days, for sure. That was an unnecessary shot at RJ. He's still my guy. All right. Pelicans, same Q tags we've had now, it seems like, for a week. Zion Williamson, Herb Jones, Larry Nance, all questionable. Cody Zeller available with Dink's favorite face mask tag. But yeah, what are we expecting here out of New Orleans? We've kind of been up and down with these guys' availability of late.
Yeah, we've seen Herb miss time, went through shoot around, should be back in there. If not, they would put Trey Murphy in the starting lineup, which they've been doing quite a bit. Yeah, I think Zion's going to go. We saw him play really well. Big shot late in the game as well. So expecting him to go pretty full. Like this matchup for him, even though it's Scotty's on him. But yeah. Other than that, I think they're pretty. Larry Nance also, he's a little bit bigger concern. I could see him missing. That's obviously fantastic for Valanciunas. If somehow Zion did miss and Larry Nance also missed, big time, Valanciunas revenge game could be on the menu.
No, Pete, it's not a fine. He's actually my guy, so not a fine. RJ is my guy.
Yep.
I believe when a player is traded, the my guy rules are transferable. Yep. So Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, still my guys, whether I like it or not. And for one of them, I do like it. No, I don't know why I'm being so mean to RJ Barrett. He wanted to be here. He tried his hardest on the Knicks. All right. That'll do it from an injury perspective. Please do check out everything we have going on at EstablishTheRun.com behind the paywall, EstablishTheRun.com/subscribe-NBA. I always get it right. Check out everything we have going on for season long, for props, for DFS. We are breaking it down. Projections for every single game, live shows, top plays 6 times a week, live shows 5 times a week at 5 o'clock. That's all behind the paywall. This show, however, is free. So please do show it some love. Give it a thumbs up here. Tell your friends, subscribe to the page, put notifications on, ring that bell, whatever all the words are. Please do it. We really appreciate it. Let's get Dink back in 2 weeks and we just somehow hit 5,000 subscribers. Let's word of mouth. Come on, let's get it going. But really appreciate you all tuning in here. We will be back tomorrow. Who are you hosting with tomorrow? Do you know, for injury show? Is it me again?
Don't know, but yeah, whoever it is, I'm sure it'll be great.
No, it looks like our calendar says it's Dank. So Dank and
Nice.
Mike tomorrow, 2 o'clock, same place, YouTube here. Please, again, show the love. Check out everything we have going on at EstablishTheRun.com. We will be back behind the paywall, Mike and myself, same duo you see on your screen here, to break down everything from a DFS perspective, the top plays, the chalk, the leverage plays, the good chalk, the bad chalk. I'm trying to get the Dink mannerisms down, the Dinkism. But we'll have it all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good luck with everything you have going on this Monday. Happy Super Bowl week, and wish you all the best of luck. Take care, everybody.